Robert Sylvester Kelly sits in a cage, a federal prison cell. To the world, he is a convicted monster, a predator who used his fame and fortune to prey on the vulnerable. The media has painted a simple picture, a black and white narrative of good versus evil. The public consumes this story with an insatiable appetite. They believe what they are told. They have been programmed to see a villain and demand his eternal punishment. They feel a sense of justice being served. But is it justice? Or is it a carefully constructed illusion, designed by unseen hands for a much darker purpose? We must look beyond the headlines. We must question the official story. The public's opinion is not their own. It has been manufactured. It has been fed to them through a relentless campaign of media manipulation. Every news report, every documentary, every social media post reinforces the same message. Condemn him, hate him, forget any complexity. This is how the system works. It creates a target, a pantomime villain for the masses to boo and hiss at. This collective outrage serves a vital function. It directs public energy away from the real sources of power and corruption. While the world focuses its anger on one man, the architects of this grand theater continue their work in the shadows, unbothered and unseen. We are being played. Think about the sheer scale of the campaign against him. It was not a gradual revelation, it was a coordinated, high-intensity assault, a tidal wave of accusations, many from decades past, all crashing down at once. This is not the organic unfolding of truth. This is the hallmark of a planned demolition. The system, the hidden network that controls our reality, decided his time was up. They needed a sacrifice. They needed a story so shocking, so emotionally charged, that it would blind the public to everything else. R. Kelly was chosen to be that sacrifice. He was the perfect candidate. Famous, controversial, and ultimately expendable to the forces that truly run the show. His musical legacy, once celebrated, is now being systematically erased. His songs are pulled from the airwaves, his name is spoken only in whispers of condemnation. This is more than just punishment, it is a ritualistic cleansing. The system is purging him from the collective memory, replacing the image of a musical genius with that of a deviant. They want us to forget the art and remember only the alleged crimes. This is crucial for their agenda. By destroying the man, they also destroy any possibility of seeing him as a pawn in a much larger, more sinister game. The cage he sits in is physical, but the prison they have built in the public mind is far more powerful. Why R. Kelly? Why now? To understand this, we must look behind the curtain. We must see the world not as a series of random events, but as a scripted reality. This script is written by a small, elite cabal. You can call them the Illuminati. You can call them the global elite. The name does not matter. What matters is their agenda, total and complete control over humanity. To maintain this control, they require distractions. They need spectacular public dramas to keep the population fixated on manufactured crises while the real agenda of enslavement marches forward. R. Kelly's downfall is one such drama, a primetime show for the slumbering masses. He is the perfect scapegoat. His story contains all the elements needed for maximum public distraction: sex, power, fame, betrayal. It is a potent cocktail that intoxicates the public mind. While the world is mesmerized by the lurid details of his case, what are we not looking at? We are not looking at the systemic corruption within the entertainment industry. We are not looking at the networks of abuse that connect to the highest echelons of power. We are not looking at the shadowy financial dealings and occult rituals that are the true currency of Hollywood and the music business. Kelly is the designated decoy, the shiny object dangled before us to keep our eyes off the prize. This is a classic maneuver of the predator class. They take one of their own, or someone who has served their purpose, and offer them up to the public as a sacrificial lamb. This act serves two purposes. First, it creates the illusion that the system is self-policing, that it holds even the powerful accountable. This is a lie. It is a carefully managed public relations stunt. Second, it satisfies the public's thirst for justice, placating them, and preventing them from asking more difficult questions. Questions like, who else was involved? How high up does this go? Who is really pulling the strings? They give us a head on a platter so we don't demand to see the king. R. Kelly's incarceration is not about protecting young women. If the system truly cared about that, it would dismantle the entire predatory machine that is the entertainment industry. It would investigate the producers, the executives, the financiers who enable and profit from this culture of exploitation, but it doesn't. Instead, it singles out one man. It makes him the sole repository for all the sins of an entire industry. His conviction is a firewall. It is designed to stop the inquiry, not to start it. He is the fall guy, taking the blame for a system that remains untouched, unexposed, and ready to create its next victim and its next star. The deception is as brilliant as it is evil. To see the pattern, we need only look at recent history. Remember Jeffrey Epstein? He was another high-profile figure presented to us as the ultimate evil, a monstrous pedophile with a private island of horrors. His story dominated the news cycle for months. We were told he was the mastermind of a vast sex trafficking ring. And then, just as the list of his powerful associates was about to be exposed, he was found dead in his cell. The official story? Suicide. A convenient end to a very inconvenient man. The truth died with him. The network he served was protected. The public was given a conclusion, but not the truth. Epstein was not the top of the pyramid. He was a manager, a high-level functionary for the real power brokers who lurk in the deepest shadows. His role was to procure and compromise, to gather blackmail material on the world's most influential people, politicians, royals, CEOs, and celebrities. His island was not just a place of debauchery, it was a trap, a data-gathering operation for the elite. His death was not a suicide, it was a silencing. He knew too much. He was about to become a liability to the very people he served. They cut the loose end. The system protected itself. Now consider the parallels with the R. Kelly case. Both men were positioned as the central villains in sprawling tales of sexual abuse. Both cases generated immense public outrage, effectively hijacking the global conversation. In both scenarios, the focus was intensely narrowed onto the individual, discouraging any wider investigation into the networks and systems that enabled them. Epstein's suicide ensured his secrets were buried. R. Kelly's life sentence serves a similar purpose. It locks him away, not just physically but symbolically. It closes the book on the story, preventing it from metastasizing and infecting the wider industry. He is the Epstein for the music world. The lesson from the Epstein saga is clear. The system creates and destroys its own monsters. It uses them to run its dark operations, and when they are no longer useful or become a threat, it sacrifices them for public consumption. This creates the illusion of justice while ensuring the real power structure remains hidden and intact. R. Kelly is another chapter in this same playbook. He is the designated sinner cast out into the wilderness to carry the sins of the many. His downfall is not a victory for victims, it is a victory for the secretive cabal that orchestrates these public dramas to maintain its grip on power. We are watching the same play with a different lead actor. It is not just R. Kelly. Look around. A wave of accusations has swept through the entertainment industry, targeting some of its most successful and powerful figures. Puff Diddy, Tyler Perry, Kanye West, Russell Simmons. The list grows longer. Each of these men reached the pinnacle of their field. They built empires, they amassed influence, and then, the accusations began to surface. Is it a coincidence that so many powerful black men in the entertainment industry are now facing these kinds of allegations? Or is it a pattern? A systematic culling of those who either refuse to play the game by the hidden rules, or have simply outlived their usefulness to the controllers. Success in the entertainment industry often comes at a terrible price. To reach the highest levels, you are often required to participate in its secrets. You are initiated into a world of dark rituals, sexual deviancy, and occult practices. This is the glue that binds the elite together. It is also their primary means of control. Once you have participated, you are compromised. They have leverage over you. You will do as you are told, promote the agendas you are given, and keep your mouth shut about what you have seen. Kanye West began to speak out against the controllers, and what happened? He was publicly dismantled, declared mentally unstable. His empire was shattered. This is what happens when you break the code of silence. The accusations against figures like Puff Diddy and Russell Simmons fit this pattern perfectly. These are not just random allegations of personal misconduct, they are indicators of a systemic, deeply embedded culture of exploitation. The industry itself is the predator. It seeks out talent, but it demands submission. It offers fame and fortune, but in return, it takes your soul. The scandals we see are just the tip of the iceberg. They are the moments when the curtain is briefly pulled back, revealing a glimpse of the rot and perversion that lies at the core of this entire structure. These men are not just individuals who made mistakes. They are products and ultimately victims of a corrupt and predatory system. The system uses these scandals to control its assets and to send a message to others. Step out of line, and this will happen to you. It's a form of blackmail on an industrial scale. R. Kelly's case is the most extreme example. He was made into a global pariah. His destruction serves as a terrifying warning to every other artist, actor, and musician. Play the game, keep the secrets, or you will be next. The web of accusation is not a sign of a moral awakening in Hollywood. It is a sign that the controllers are tightening their grip, purging dissenters, and reinforcing their power through fear and intimidation. Section 5. The Puppet Master's Stage. An industry built on secrets. You know, the entertainment industry is not what it seems. It's not about art or creativity or self-expression, not really. That's just the glossy veneer sold to the public. Behind this facade, it's actually one of the primary vehicles for mass social engineering and mind control. It's a stage, and the actors, singers, and celebrities, they're the puppets. The puppet masters, well, they're the hidden elite, the intergenerational satanic and Luciferian cults that control global finance, politics, and media. They use Hollywood and the music industry to shape our perceptions, dictate our values, and normalize behaviors that serve their long-term agenda of total human enslavement. Think about the symbolism that permeates music videos and films: the all-seeing eye, the pyramids, the Baphomet sigils, and the constant themes of hypersexuality, materialism, and violence. This is not art. This is programming. It's a form of mass hypnosis, embedding ideas and archetypes deep into the collective subconscious. They are telling us what to think, what to desire, and who to be. Artists who are willing to be the conduits for this symbolism are rewarded with immense fame and wealth. They become the high priests and priestesses of the cult, leading the masses in a dance of distraction and spiritual degradation. The industry is built on a foundation of secrets and perversion. The casting couch is a euphemism for a system of sexual abuse and ritualistic initiation. To get ahead, many are forced into acts of debasement. This is not just about power dynamics. It is about breaking the spirit. It's about creating compromised individuals who can be easily controlled. The stories of occult rituals, secret societies, and blood oath pacts within the industry are not fantasy. They are the hidden reality. This is the environment that creates figures like R. Kelly. He's a product of a system that rewards and encourages predatory behavior as long as it serves the wider agenda. When we watch a movie or listen to a song, we're not just being entertained, we are being programmed. We are consuming a carefully crafted narrative designed to keep us docile, divided, and spiritually asleep. The entire industry is a weapon of psychological warfare waged against the public. It's a machine for manufacturing consent and shaping reality. R. Kelly's case, and the cases of others, are not aberrations from this system. They are the logical outcome of it. The industry is a swamp of corruption, and it inevitably produces monsters. The real crime is the existence of the swamp itself. Scandal is not an unfortunate byproduct of the entertainment industry. It is one of its most powerful tools. It is a weapon that the hidden controllers use with surgical precision. They can, create a scandal to destroy someone who has become a threat. They can inflate a scandal to create a massive public distraction. And they can just ignore a scandal to protect one of their own. The selective outrage we see in the media is the proof. Some are crucified for their sins, while others, often far more powerful and connected, are allowed to carry on their activities with impunity. This is not justice. This is controlled demolition. The process is a ritual. First, the target is selected. This could be someone who knows too much like Epstein, or someone who is speaking out like Kanye West, or someone who can be used as a major scapegoat like R. Kelly. Second, the narrative is crafted. The media, which is controlled by the same elite cabal, begins to release a steady stream of information, shaping public opinion into a unified wave of condemnation. Leaks, anonymous sources, and emotional testimonies are used to build a case in the court of public opinion long before any trial begins. The target is dehumanized and turned into a monster. Third, the takedown is executed. This involves legal attacks, financial ruin, and social ostracism. The person is systematically stripped of their power, their reputation, and their support network. Their allies are scared into silence. The public, whipped into a frenzy by the media, demands blood. The ritual requires a public sacrifice. The conviction and imprisonment of R. Kelly is the final act of this ritual. He has been successfully offered up to the angry mob, and the mob is temporarily satisfied. The system appears to have worked, a great evil has been vanquished, but the ritual's true purpose is to reinforce the power of the controllers. By making an example of someone like R. Kelly, they send a chilling message to everyone else within the industry. We made you, and we can break you. It is the ultimate demonstration of their power. They control the narrative, they control the media, they control the legal system, and they control you. The weaponization of scandal is about maintaining order and obedience within their own ranks and keeping the public perpetually distracted from the real nature of the prison they live in. It is a dark and ancient magic, played out on the world stage. When we peel back the layers of this conspiracy, we find another, even more insidious agenda at play. The targeting of powerful and successful black men like R. Kelly, Puff Diddy, and others is not random. It is connected to a hidden agenda of white supremacy that lies at the heart of the global elite's power structure. This is not the overt, crude racism of street-level thugs. It is a far more sophisticated and systemic form of control. The cabal that runs the world is, at its highest levels, an old-world power structure rooted in European aristocratic and banking families. They see themselves as the rightful rulers of the planet. This elite allows individuals from other races to achieve a certain level of success, but only if they serve the agenda. They are permitted to become rich and famous as long as they function as puppets, promoting the desired messages of materialism, division, and spiritual decay to their communities. They are useful tools for controlling their own people. However, there is a ceiling. If a black celebrity becomes too powerful, too independent, or starts to advocate for genuine empowerment of their community, they become a threat to the established order. They have crossed a line. This is when the takedown mechanism is activated. The same system that built them up is then used to tear them down in the most public and humiliating way possible. The message is twofold. To the black community it says, this is what happens to your heroes. Do not aspire to true power. To the wider public it reinforces racist stereotypes, associating black success with criminality, deviancy, and corruption. It is a deeply cynical game. The system elevates these men, uses them to sell a toxic culture, and then destroys them, using their downfall to further entrench racial divisions and hierarchies. R. Kelly's case is a masterclass in this strategy. He was one of the most successful black artists of all time. His influence was immense. By transforming him from a cultural icon into a predatory monster, the system achieves multiple goals. It neutralizes his influence, creates a massive distraction, and subtly reinforces a racist narrative about the inherent dangers of powerful black men. This is not to absolve him of personal responsibility, but to place his actions within the much larger context of a system that is fundamentally racist and designed to prevent any real challenge to its power. The hidden hand of supremacy controls the game from beginning to end. The conviction of R. Kelly has been hailed as a landmark victory for justice, a triumph for the #MeToo movement, a sign that no one is above the law. This is the illusion. It is a carefully stage-managed piece of theater designed to make us feel good, to make us believe the system works. But true justice would look very different. True justice would not stop at one man. It would follow the evidence wherever it leads, into the boardrooms of record labels, the mansions of Hollywood producers, and the secret gatherings of the global elite. The fact that the investigation stops with Kelly is proof that this is not about justice. It is about containment. While the world remains fixated on the R. Kelly saga, what real crimes are being ignored? We are living through the greatest transfer of wealth in human history, from the middle class to the billionaire elite, under the guise of manufactured global crises. We are witnessing the construction of a digital prison, a surveillance society where every movement, every transaction, and every thought is monitored and controlled. We are seeing the systematic erosion of our fundamental freedoms. Freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of bodily autonomy. These are the real crimes against humanity. The R. Kelly story is the perfect distraction from this creeping tyranny. It is an emotional, human-level drama that consumes our attention and our energy. It keeps us arguing amongst ourselves. It keeps us focused on the past. It prevents us from seeing the bars of the prison being built around us in the present. The media, as the propaganda arm of the elite, plays a crucial role in this. They magnify the Kelly story, turning it into an epic of good versus evil, while they downplay or completely ignore the larger, more systemic crimes being committed by their masters. This is why R. Kelly should be released. not because he is innocent of any wrongdoing but because his continued incarceration serves the agenda of the very forces that are enslaving us all. His imprisonment is a symbol of a fraudulent justice system. It is a monument to a successful distraction campaign. Releasing him would shatter the illusion. It would force people to ask, if he is not the ultimate villain, then who is? It would be a spanner in the works of the control system. It would disrupt the narrative and force people to look away from the puppet show and toward the puppet masters who are the real criminals. The final truth is this: the problem is not R. Kelly. The problem is the system that created him, promoted him, and then sacrificed him. To focus solely on the actions of one man, however disturbing, is to miss the forest for the trees. It is to let the true culprits get away with it. The entertainment industry is a diseased organism, a predatory ecosystem that feeds on talent, innocence, and the human spirit. It is a key pillar of the global control system, a machine for programming the masses and laundering the dark agendas of the elite. As long as we blame individuals, the machine itself will continue to operate. We must stop being willing participants in their scripted dramas. We must stop consuming the outrage they feed us. We must begin to question every official narrative, especially those that are pushed with the most emotional intensity. When the media tells you to hate someone, ask yourself, why? Why this person? Why now? What are they trying to stop me from looking at? We need to develop media literacy that is, in fact, conspiracy literacy. We need to see the patterns, connect the dots, and understand that we are living in a manipulated reality. The call is not to defend the alleged actions of R. Kelly or any other individual. The call is to expose the rotten system that ensnares them all. We need a great awakening, a mass realization that the celebrities we are told to worship or despise are merely actors on a stage. The real power lies behind the curtain, with the shadowy producers and directors of this human drama. We must turn our attention to them. We must expose the networks, the secret societies, the financial institutions, and the ancient bloodlines that truly control our world. This is the only path to true justice and true freedom. Therefore, releasing R. Kelly is a necessary first step in dismantling this grand illusion. His freedom would symbolize a rejection of the scapegoat mechanism. It would be a declaration that we will no longer be distracted by their pantomime villains. It would signal that we are ready to look at the far greater evil of the system itself. The blame does not belong to one fallen star, it belongs to the entire corrupt and satanic constellation of the entertainment industry and the global elite it serves. It is time to stop watching the show and start unmasking the showrunners. The truth will indeed set us all free. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and with family and friends watch all the videos. I promise you, and the world won't be the same afterwards.